Hi folks, welcome back to my horde. Let's see, about 11:10, 7:15, Monday, 84 degrees, 85 degrees, whatever. Very humid, sticky. Here in the Hudson Valley they have heat warnings out, so I'm sure elsewhere in the country it's also hot as heck. One can see my batteries are all charged up. And here we are. What have I been up to? Well, the first thing I wanted to do is check out this China quad and see if she was going to start up for me. And I think I have good news. Let me show you what I got. As a matter of fact, let me demonstrate what I got. You know, it's hot as heck and the sun's out, so might as well set up a propane bottle as a stand, right? Okay, how well could you guys see here? I think you guys could see what I'm up to. Here, just give me a second. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it's kind of running a tad lean. I had the choke on for it to run like that, so I got to get into that carburetor, spend a few minutes rebuilding it. But one can see the new CDI seemed to be its problems, or the old CDI was the problem. The new CDI seemed to have fixed it. For those of you folks out there who want to repair some of these China quads, it turns out there's quite a few websites, and eBay carries quite a few parts. There's one website. I did not buy the CDI there, but it seemed to have a lot of parts for these things. I think it was called ChinaScooter.com or something like that. The CDI that I put on there came from eBay. It was like 10 or 11 bucks delivered. Postage was included on that. Call it 11 bucks, and for 11 bucks it was delivered right to the house. So that makes it easy. Obviously, well, I ordered it. When did I order it? Tuesday night. I had it Friday. I ordered it Monday or Tuesday night. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, I had it Friday. I installed it today, so you get the parts within a week. How could you go wrong? For $10, it appears as I fixed its problem. For other parts on that, it appears as if you could get the head and exhaust pipes and cylinder and all kinds of other stuff from, once again, that I think it's called China Scooter. You could just do a bunch of searches, but it appears as if the parts are out there. So if you get a good enough deal on one of these bikes, a real reasonable deal, a really great deal, and you want to risk a little bit, you could go for it. Where you run into a problem, though, you don't want to put too much out, because these bikes, that bike was like an $895 bike, brand new. You throw tax on it, you're up to $950. You figure if it looks pretty good and it runs pretty good, maybe you'll get half of that, so maybe you'll get $450 for it. So if you put, you know, I already got $200 into it, and it's not going to be a good looking bike, so its top end is probably $350. So you know, I'm not going to sell it, so to me, having it and playing with it and beating the heck out of it is worth the money I have invested. I mean, I'm up to like $210, 200 and yeah, because I bought it for 200. I'm up to 211. Let's say by the time I get done with it, I have 2.25 in it. For 2.25, you know, put the plastic on it, and you know, just beat it about the property. You know, I'm okay. I mean, it'll give me that much worth of amusement, and then if it does blow up between the tires and the carcass, I'll do okay for 2.25. Buying them to fix them up, though, you got to be careful. The plastic is not cheap for these things. Here's a closer look at the CDI. I was asked some questions about how did it melt. The CDI on that thing is not powered by the battery. It's powered by a coil off the stator. It's got a separate little coil off the stator. And that little coil does not have enough power to melt this down like this. This took some real juice to melt. The way it's burned here, I'm thinking it was up against an exhaust pipe. Also, if you look at the roundness of the burn, it kind of looks like an exhaust pipe. Though generally speaking, it looks like the whole thing was hot as heck. I mean, I could see pretty good through the screen. You could see it actually melted here and started to conform to some of the internal components. So, and right here, it actually started to melt and bubble. I mean, this thing got cooked good. I think it was up against the exhaust. I think she was, you know, literally up against the exhaust. That's what got it cooked. Though I didn't notice any burnt plastic on the exhaust. Normally you would expect to see that. So anyway, that's one thing. That's A. B, this is the head. You know, I'm telling head jokes here. Anyway, this is the head that came over eBay, and there were 3 of these studs stuck in it here. And if you read the description, these were stuck. So, you know, I walked up to it with my best pair of vice grips and grabbed onto them and got ready for the struggle of my life and to rock them back and forth. They spun right out. I don't know what the guy's problem was. They came out quite easily. It was a piece of cake to get those out. I mean, no issue. They came right out. So this head, I think I paid, I don't know, somewhere. The guy wanted $20 for it, and I think I was cheap, and I gave him 15 or 16. I think I gave him 16 for it, and it was another $11 postage. So $25, $26 head is a good deal. Normally they go for 40 or 50. Doesn't appear as if the valves are sunk, and the valves look tight. You know, just kind of looking around, or the exhaust valve. So I'm probably going to clean this up a little better. The spark plug hole looks good. It's got the exhaust studs. You know, they left the bolts for the intake, which is nice. This all looks clean. This looks good. The only damage is right here. I guess they were prying or something. Though the only thing on top here, it's an oil bath. It's not pressurized. So I ordered a gasket set to put this in. Actually, what I'll do is I'll use one of my other gasket sets and then just replace it. I have a couple of complete gasket sets. And what I did is I ordered a couple of gasket sets just for the top end, just for the head. Gasket sets for these things are about $23 each, $24 delivered. So you know, I did order it, and I'll put a little goop here, a little, I don't know, Permatex, something to make sure she seals. One side is good. You can see that side of the bolt is good, but this side, it looks like, you know, little Abner put a screwdriver in there and went to pry things apart. So that's item number 2. Item number 3, I got a shifter. This came in one of the boxes of parts. It's all ready to go. If you guys remember this bike, this was the car show bike. Ran beautifully, but the wouldn't shift. Started right up, ran beautifully, wouldn't shift for love nor money. Felt like the shifter was hooked to nothing. I got a new shifter rod for it, so when I pull that one apart, or I actually took the side cover off, but I need to put this shifter rod in and put it back together again. Then I'm debating whether to put that engine back on this bike or just leave the 185 that's on here. The 185 that's on here seems to run good, so my lean is to leave well enough alone. Right, you get a running bike, you get it all fixed up and all. That's the bike, the DT and Melissa bike, that's gonna kind of be the test bed. And lastly, I just wanted to get that running as much as I got it. I have to finish it up, but it's hot as heck. I'm really dripping here, just dripping sweat off. Literally, it's just, falling off me here. Anyway, I'm also fooling around with the bike I just picked up, the eBay bike. Basically, what I'm doing is looking for a recoil starter cage, the fan and that little cage that goes on the flywheel. I'm looking around for that, seeing if I have some in the hoard before I take something else apart. Generally speaking, I try to leave things as complete as possible. They take up less space that way. You lose fewer screws that way. I mean, some folks are really nice and organized. I don't suffer from that. So I try to leave things as intact as possible before I go and tear them apart looking for, once again, a starter cage or something like that. Or if I am going to pull a starter cage off of something, I do like to pull it off an engine that I don't think will ever run. Just isolate some engines to parts and some engines for having the potential to come back to life. All right, folks. Live, love, and have a great time. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. And thanks for commenting. I do like the comments. Take care now, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Horde.